Dear brothers and sisters, today we'd like to talk about something, a biggest fitna, biggest trial, test, tribulation for this ummah will take place. Qiyamah will not come until this ummah will go through more trial, more trial. Trial will be coming so much. People will think the last year's trial was nothing. This year's one is worse. Next year's one, they will consider the previous year's one was nothing. What we are facing coming year or next year, it is worse. This way it will be increasing more and more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test the believer through all these tests, will make them, they are more firm. But the munafiqun, hypocrites and non-believer will be losing their faith. But the right believer, all this fitna will not make them accept more firm. That we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He save us and give us firmness. Allahumma thabbitna. And one of the biggest fitna is waiting for this ummah is Fitnat Al Masih ad-Dajjal, the trial of the false Messiah, Antichrist. Dajjal's fitna is the worst fitna. In hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is no biggest fitna, biggest incident, biggest occurrence will happen in this world than the fitna of ad-Dajjal. Since the creation of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam until day of Qiyamah, doomsday, the day of resurrection, nothing a bigger fitna than fitna of ad-Dajjal, the trial of ad-Dajjal. He himself and all other prophets used to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save them from the fitna of Masih ad-Dajjal. Not only Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even the previous prophets alayhim salatu wasalam used to ask Allah protection from the trial of Dajjal, and their follower used to do the same dua. Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he himself used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection in the end of the salah after he finishes tashahhud. Before making salam to both sides, he used to say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab al-nar, wa a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr, wa a'udhu bika min fitnat al-mahya wal-mamat, wa a'udhu bika min adhab fi-an-nar, wa min adhab fi-al-qabr. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he asking, oh Allah, protect me from the hellfire. Allah, protect me from the grave punishment. Oh Allah, save me from the fit and the trials of the life and the death. Oh Allah, protect me from the fitna and trial of Masih ad-Dajjal, the Antichrist, the false Messiah. It will be so severe fitna that in another hadith of Al-Bayhaqi, he said, لا يخرج الدجال حتى يدخل الناس حتى يذهل الناس عن ذكره وحتى تترك الأئمة ذكره على المنابر. Dajjal will not come except when people will not mention about him. People will not discuss about Dajjal. People will not ask Allah protection from Dajjal until the Imams will abandon the issue of Dajjal to deal in the khutbah. When nobody will talk about Dajjal, Imams will be not talking, khutbah will be not given about him, then that is the time when Dajjal is supposed to come. So we thought, we discuss this. May Allah save us, protect us from the fitna of Dajjal. His fitna will be so worse that he will be given so much power by Allah to just test us. That we know Dajjal and we don't believe in him. He'll have so much power. He'll tell the sky, the cloud, give rainfall, and there will be huge rainfall. Just his command, it will happen. He'll tell the earth, grow good crops, then good plants, good fruits, all this will be coming. He will bring hellfire with him and paradise, Jannah and Jahannam, but that will be wrong one. Of course, it is the right Jannah, right Jahannam. But people will think that this is the right Jahannam, this is the right paradise. Well, it is not. He'll throw somebody to the hellfire, and that hellfire will turn to originally to Allah as paradise. He'll throw somebody to paradise of him, which originally will be taken by Allah as thrown to the hellfire. He will have so much power to fast moving, to run fast, more than the strongest cyclone. He'll be running around, going whole world. He'll be coming from Iran. Khorasan is the place. 70,000 of Yahud will be following him in the beginning, and many others will follow later. He'll be going everywhere in this planet except 4 places: Mecca, Medina, Al-Quds, and the mountain of Tur. He'll have no access at all. His fitna will be so much. Many people who have no Islamic faith, knowledge, Iman is weak. If they see him and see his power, they'll be losing their Iman. And they'll be considering him, he is Allah. A'udhu billah. And he will claim himself that he is the God, he is Allah, he is the Ilah. And he'll show this power. This is a fitna, a trial, a test for the believer, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us that if you see Dajjal, there are signs. He'll be blinded, one eye blinded, just one eye will be functioning. Allah is not our. Allah is not having one eye. No. There's a big difference. He told us all this in the hadith in advance. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have no one blind eye. Dajjal will have one blind eye. He's blinded. And it will be written on his forehead between 2 eyes. Kafir, Kaf Alif Fa Ra. Very clearly. Any believer will be able to read it. This knowledge is needed. We need to teach our family and children. One of the hadith suggests, when Dajjal will come, this news will be spread. Everybody will try to see him. And when the people of weak Iman will come to see him, they will fall in his fitna. They will consider, oh yeah, he is Allah. And one of the hadiths mentioned, especially the women, will fall in his trap more. That's why the good believer will go to home after this news is spread that Dajjal came. They will try to lock up their mother, sister, daughter, wives. So because of the worry, they may run behind Dajjal and believe in him. Can you imagine what kind of fitna it is? He will be staying 40 days in this world. After his appearance, he'll be from human being, but with huge, gigantic figure. Only 40 days, but that 40 days is not normal. First day of him, his first day after his appearance will be a whole year. A day's length is like the length of whole year, like the length of 365 days. And the next day of him will be like a whole month. A day's length is like 30 days length. And 3 days of him will be a week length. 1 day is equal to 7 days length. And after these 3 days, the other following days will be as usual, normal days of us, day and night, 24 hours. The first 3 days are abnormal, unusual. The remaining 37 days will be similar days of us, day and night. Sahaba asked, Ya Rasulullah, if 1 day is 1 year length, in that 1 year length time, in 1 day, how many prayers will be praying? 5 prayer only? Or there is every 24 hours 5 prayer? He said, yes, you need to do within the day and night length 5 prayer. Calculate it through calculation. If Allah allows the watch and clock will be working, it will be easier for us to follow the clock, 24 hours routine, and calculate that way to pray all 5 prayers within the 24 hours time. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that how severe will be that fitna. And he's told us all this, of course, asking in every prayer, in the end of tashahhud before taslim, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhabi nar, wa a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr, a'udhu bika min fitnat al-Masih ad-Dajjal, wa a'udhu bika min fitnat al-Mahya wal-Mamat. Among these four, fitnat al-Masih ad-Dajjal is mentioned. We must ask Allah protection. He also, alayhi salatu wasalam, suggested, recommended us to recite Surah Al-Kahf's first 10 ayah. He said, anybody will memorize first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf in the 15 juz of Al-Quran, first 10 verses, memorizing and reciting, it will make sure you are protected from fitna, trial of Al Masih ad-Dajjal. Some of the other riwayahs suggested the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. However, first 10 verses are mentioned in more of the ahadiths. That's why we need to recite Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. So that is also, empowering us, increasing our iman. As you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us whole week, light to us, extra 3 days. Whole week will be given light and more 3 days, 10 days. So that is the benefit of reciting Surah Al-Kahf Friday. So brothers and sisters, to have this knowledge is, as you see, is essential. We need to read about this. There are hadiths and included in the Aqidah books. What are the fitna? What are the signs of Qiyamah? When Ya'juj and Ma'juj is coming, how they will cause the fitna? All these are explained in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To bring all this, even one hadith I wanted to read, but it's too long, it will take more than khutbah time. So, and that hadith, in hadith of Muslim, mentioned all these issues of Dajjal, issue of coming of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam in Damascus, in Masjid in the White Minaret, and coming of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and how Allah will deal with them. So, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Isa alayhi salam, and then how peace will happen to this world, and everyone will be Muslim. All this beautiful information and knowledge available in hadith. We need to empower ourselves, increase our iman, and to be aware of the fitna, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection and tawfiq. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min al-fitan ma dhahara minha wa ma batan. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min al-fitan al-Masih ad-Dajjal. Allahumma innaka afuwun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna ya kareem. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.